Namaste everyone, welcome to this video. The topic for this video is the hardest lesson of twin flame journey is time. This is a collective reading, and if you are a genuine twin flame, then you must have gone through this thought. This journey is not easy journey. And when people start out, they don't know anything. So let me discuss how you can deal with this problem of time. Why is this even happening to you? By the end of this session, you will have some relief. So if anyone is a genuine twin flame, then you will notice that many newbies on twin flame journey get very troubled when the first time the runner runs away. There is one page on Facebook. I didn't even know when I became a part of it. And then I realized that I was on it for many years. And these days I've been noticing that a lot of notifications come from that page. So when I open the notification, I read people's grievances. And many of them seem to be just fresh into this journey. So at that point in time, they can get very troubled when the first time the runner runs away. For someone who has been in this journey for a long time, even if we reminisce to try to relate, we can remember, yes, the first separation is very hard. It's very hard for them to cope up with the first separation, whether it happens to a married twin flame or the one who's in a relationship or situationship or friends with benefits for a long term. Because suddenly all the past traumas, the fear of separation coming from neglect and abuse becomes magnified. When someone's person stops talking to them, taking their calls, or acting like they don't exist, ignoring them, even if someone is living under the same roof, it can feel like the worst punishment. And in the beginning, one doesn't even know that there are false twin flames, karmics, catalysts, narcissists, and also soulmates, both negative and positive. At that point in time, so many concepts are still in theory. They've just started digging into the world of metaphysics, spirituality, and energy healing. Somehow they learn to accept it. It's very hard, but they get on with things, they move on with things. Time passes by and the runner comes back. There are tears, consoling, apologies, hugs, kisses, and for some people even lots of intimacy. It looks like everything is back on track, everything is fine and all is well in paradise again. The crown, the throne has been given back to its original king or queen. But a soul shock is on the way, lurking somewhere in the background, waiting for the right opportunity. And bam, the runner runs again. The chaser is left behind in dismay and horror and in utter shock and confusion. All the meditations they've done, the inner work, the readings, the full moon practices, the detachment, everything they put into it, it wasn't easy. This person came back and now they've gone again. They feel angry, upset, and sometimes they don't even have the words to describe how they feel. All of this combined leads to a dark night. And this time, when they get out of it, they would know that there is something called dark night. Last time they did not know about it. The first time was not the same. This dark night will lead them into bad routine, drinking a lot of coffee, not dressing up, binge watching, crying, staying locked in their room, or not going out. And in some cases, doing absolutely opposite, going out way too much to get distracted. So different people have different coping mechanism. Some would even pack their bags and become a backpacker, just to find answers, just to find some peace, because in their environment they are not feeling good. So they want to change the environment. They want to get out of the toxic environment or any place that reminds them of their supposed twin flame. All this and much more. But again, this gets too much, so much regret, pain, guilt, and one fine day the dark night ends. The chasers all chasers, whosoever experience this, feel independent again. They start working on themselves. They reconnect with God. They fix everything. They clean the clutter. They make their spaces beautiful. They accept all the issues that are going on. In some cases, it can even happen that after the separation, after the runner runs away, after 2-3 times, 2-3 cycles, they figure it out, and then they go away somewhere. And they start enjoying that very instant. As soon as they leave to some other beautiful place, or they go to a commune, they go to a retreat, they go to volunteer at some place, they make new friends, they live a good life, 6 months, 5 months down the line, some family problem hits them, some issue, that they cannot ignore, it hits them. And who comes back to take care of them? Their twin flame. Surprise! Coming back to the second time around, when they fix everything, clean the clutter, make their spaces beautiful, cut out all the junk, start taking care of themselves, stop crying. They don't want to brood over someone who's so insensitive, someone who's simply not doing anything for their happiness. They can fight on their birthdays, or they can not take responsibility, and then this leads to one big pile up, and then one big showdown, and after that there is silence. The person feels, who's going through all this, that can't I speak how I feel? In some cases, the dagger of separation is usually hanging or hovering around almost all the time. Because sometimes it can be a narcissistic relationship also, which starts the twin flame journey, which propels the twin flame journey. And sometimes it could be possible that the other person is equally wounded or too attached with their own people, who in turn are very sansaric. This could be an empath, this could be a divine masculine, divine feminine, but their distortion comes because they love their own people too much, a best friend, mother, father, sister, brother, who they always listen to. They cannot trust anyone. They love you, but when the mother says, oh, this is not a good thing, you should not get into this relationship, they'll start thinking about it. And then it's called confirmation bias. They will start looking for proof for it. The other people who are the influencing elements, they may not have the same energy. And ascension is definitely not written in cards for them. In their case, they look at who their child is dating. It's a different person, it's a unique person, their partner, and they look at this person with suspicion. Maybe they're also trying to protect their own person. Being a narcissist and being a puppet are two different things, but they're also very similar, because both such people can give strong soul shocks. One might run away because they found someone to hook up with, the narcissist, who can give them money, presents, fancy life. And the other one might leave because the parents don't like the person they love and they do all the brainwashing. This brainwashing can also be innocent brainwashing, because the people in some cases are usually victims of other victims. And let's not forget that there are also lessons on toxic relationships and healing in the ascension journey, in the twin flame ascension journey. Despite all of this, once again the chaser finds solace and peace in their newfound independence. And even better than the last episode of running and chasing, this time it's even better. They end up becoming the one who is chased by others now. If not the twin flame, then there could be other people who are chasing them. Enjoy the attention and realize that they're good. Maybe some karmic's role in these initial stages is simply to let the person know that, you know what, you are desirable. Sometimes some karmic play this role too. You're desirable, you're attractive, they're going to follow up with this person, they're going to propose this person. And someone who's in separation, someone who's just gotten out of the dark night, someone who was just left hanging by the runner, they feel this is beautiful, like somebody likes me, somebody wants me. And look, these people, they can do anything to get my presence. At that point in time, it feels very healing. But the interesting part is that they still cannot accept anyone's proposal. I mean, they can date them, they can hang out with them, in some cases maybe a little bit more, but they still cannot be with this person. There is something off about this person. There's something that doesn't come from the soul. There's something that they don't want to do. But slowly and gradually, they want to be with themselves. Hell, they feel like they're still probably stuck with the thoughts of their runner. This twin flame experience feels so strange. On one hand, they had to go through so much because of one person, and on the other hand, now they have options but they can't make up their mind. Now the runner is also going through their own set of horrible experiences, but by now they realize their mistakes. They must go back, but how? How the hell will they apologize again? They were also in addictions and fear of rejection, experimenting with love, protecting their hearts, making sure they don't suffer like their parents, choosing an easy life, less drama, where they never had to face any difficult situation. They will either go to that person or somebody new. They don't want to deal with any challenges because it's not easy to be in challenging situations. However, their choice took them to an even worse situation. Maybe they got laughed at. Maybe they were mocked for being who they are. Maybe they were just used for their body, their sexuality, or for sex. Eventually, they start feeling like a total loser with any karmic that they had been with, and they also realize that this is not even a real thing. It's a temporary thing. It's not even close to what they had with their person. So both parties are having their own dilemmas and confusions. Both parties are thinking, one is thinking that even if so many people are out there for me, I have so many options, but I can't stop thinking about this person. And the other one is like, they're into those options. They maybe have gone even far into this situation, much more further into it if you compare it with the chaser. And by this time, maybe the chaser is no longer the chaser. Maybe the roles have reversed. Maybe the chaser is now the runner and they don't want to talk to this person, their runner, they don't want to see that person's face. And I've just covered only 2 cycles. Imagine, I'll come to that later, how many cycles people go through. Imagine what they go through. So, just when the chaser feels like it's time to choose someone, like they're ready, the runner makes a strong decision and boom. Just like that, one fine day, they're back again. They're back in a relationship. And everything looks fine again. Everything looks beautiful again. They can't wait to be with each other. They are constantly calling each other. They are making phone calls. They're talking about their bad experiences. Sometimes they are full of envy and jealousy, and sometimes they're angry. They're having all these strange experiences, but they're still so happy to be back with each other. They feel like it's some kind of a drug they're into. They want this person. It's like a drug. Both people feel like that. The madness is there. And of course, for some days it's nice and breezy, but again, the fights, the arguments, the questioning, the neglect, the fear of rejection, everything starts coming back. So like I was saying, I have mentioned just 2 cycles. People go through multiple cycles of these. Some even go through these cycles after getting married. After getting married also, yes, I have worked with so many people. For someone who's not married yet would be confused hearing this. They would be like, really? Even after marriage, twin flames go into separation? Why would they go into separation? They've already gone through series of separations before getting married. Finally, they decide and yes, they say, I'm going to be with you. And after marriage, the same story starts happening again. And maybe now they have a kid in the picture. But this doesn't happen to everyone. This doesn't happen to all the people, okay? These are, as I said, different types of twin flame combinations, permutations, different categories, different styles. Twin flame is a very vast sea. It has different types of people going through these lessons on love, life, spirituality, God. Married people going through phases of no contact and separation. And I can actually tell you in a personal session, not here publicly, but I also know of couples who are twin flame coaches and guides and teachers who showed the world that, hey guys, look at us, we are together, we are working through this, look, we spent like 12 years in separation, 15 years in separation, now we are with each other, we are married to each other, and everybody is going gaga for them. Everybody's like, wow, this is the ideal couple, and after 1 year, boom, so publicly they are in separation because they can't help it. It just happens like that. And if I start sharing with you guys the story of Shiva and Parvati, the Radha Krishna story, if I share you about Sita and Ram, if you start listening to their twin flame journey, you will be stunned by the magnitude of it. But in today's world, we are so heavily programmed, our lifespans are shorter than people who were born in Treta or Dwapar, that in this stipulated period of time we need to go through a lot, which is why most twin flames have so many experiences in terms of relationships. So for a beginner, and compared to someone who's been in this journey for 20 years or 10 years, 15 years, if you compare the beginner and that person, what changes? What has changed? Change is their resilience. And that's why I feel that the hardest and the most important lesson of this journey is time. The motive is to teach how to remain happy no matter what happens outside. The motive is to remain grateful no matter what. And the motive is to remain submerged in devotion, staying with Source, just wanting Source, the love of Source no matter what. Not waste even a single second of time. Time looks like an enemy. Initially, it's so hard to get over it or cross over from that feeling. But once the person begins to solve the puzzle, the same time it starts becoming a teacher, a friend, a guide, and you also have reference. You can look in the past, the runner ran away like 15 times, or the runner ran away for like 5 years, and they came back to you, and they're sorry, and they're crying, and they're like constantly telling you how much they love you, and you're like, oh my God, I never thought this will happen. So you know that someone running away, it's out of fear. And when you realize that, like, it is finally locked even in your system, you don't have to show it to the world. You don't have to sit next to your twin flame and prove it to the world that, look, my twin flame loves me, because you know, I mean, they're telling you, and when they're telling you constantly, they're messaging you, you know it. But there's a dull phase in between. Of course, that happens to a lot of people when they go through this long-term separation, and it looks like really long actually. And then when someone comes back, but they don't give you exactly what you're looking for, again it can feel like big time rejection. Again it can be very annoying. But at least you have the reference of time. You know that this person has done this like 15 times, and I have also forgiven them 15 times. If they are coming back to me, I also accept them each time. So there is something that I also need to change. Otherwise this will keep happening for the rest of the life. But anyway, as the levels go up, the person becomes a tough nut to crack. That's when they start working on their closest familial bonds. They work on their curses. They have a strong desire to work on themselves. This is when they try to understand the nature of desires, the nature of mind, manifestations, metaphysics. They work on their health. They work on all the things that make them happy. And of course, they work on the most important thing is source integration. They don't get triggered. Somebody actually can say that their ex taught them that if you keep giving chances to someone, they don't value you. They're not afraid to lose you because they know that no matter what, you're not going to walk away. But how do you put this into perspective in a twin flame ascension journey, which is so long? There are people in the twin flame ascension journey for 30-40 years also, if you actually closely watch them. So, there are lessons about not letting someone get comfortable with disrespecting you. There are lessons on self-love. There are lessons on cheating. Being the king and queen of your own heart, of your own mind, learning to control the mind, learning to tame the mind, understanding that maybe sometimes the person who is troubling you, the narcissist, or even your catalyst, could have narcissistic mothers or fathers. And a narcissistic mother does not see the child as a unique individual, someone who can express, but as an extension of her own self. Sometimes the narcissistic parent, they enable the child, they control the child, they look at the child as an object rather as an individual with their own thoughts and feelings. And in many cases, many mothers, they might have given birth to you, which is a very difficult process. It's not an easy process. There's so much love, or there's so much discomfort also that goes into giving birth to a child. But this doesn't mean that the mother knows everything, that the mother is fully capable of caring for the child. It doesn't equate to all mothers can love correctly. They can try. They can try with their limited knowledge, with their own programming. Loneliness is also a form of narcissism. And some people really enjoy this, inflicting this loneliness on someone they love. It's like a sadistic pleasure that they derive out of it. Sometimes they even test a person. Like, let's see, for how long is he or she going to miss me or think about me? Will they accept me or not? Do they really love me or not? People have strange ideas on love because maybe this is what they were taught. On the other hand, maybe a lot of people who are in this journey could be learning how to become a healed mother, a healed parent, so that the curse actually stops at you. It doesn't go further to the next generation. Because a mother who is in harmony with her child, who understands her place in her child's life, and her role in the society, she's never going to be lonely. She's never going to inflict the pain of loneliness on the child. The child will see the mother as happy, independent, resilient. She or he, the child, is going to look up to the mother. Because, let me tell you here, growing up with narcissistic mothers can be very difficult. People cannot form a healthy sense of identity towards themselves. They don't know who to be and what to be. They don't know what to do. They don't know what punishment is, what love is. And it's not like the narcissistic mother, she is not suffering. All narcissists, they are suffering too. They are miserable too. Because they can look very happy. Usually they look more happy, more confident, more independent than someone else. Because they are always going to get what they want. But why they are unhappy is because whatever they get is a materialistic thing. That's the difference between a narcissist or an empath. The empath is looking for non-materialistic things. The narcissist is looking only for materialistic things. But the empath has to learn from the narcissist, and the narcissist has to learn from the empath. And for those people who know for sure that the narcissists are never going to change, actually they have still not worked on certain wounds, because the narcissists change when we change. Their changing depends on us. If we don't care, if we are nonchalant, if we still do what we love, if we are not trapped by all the attachments and all of the notions, all of the expectations, then they cannot trouble us, whosoever it is. And then they can also see that, look, this person is happy, and they are happy despite all of the things that we have expected from them. Like, what is it that they're doing which makes them so happy? And in some cases, when you feel strongly, okay, fine, the narcissist cannot change, then even we need to accept that not everybody is meant to be a part of our journey or part of our life. Then again, you see, we are changing. And as we change, we are either disconnected from them, they move on, they go away, or we go away from them. So they no longer impact us, they no longer affect us the way they used to. They no longer have the power over us which they used to have, and they would make us feel like puppets. And in the twin flame ascension journey, whether it's a divine masculine or whether it's a divine feminine, because both are having their own journey, whether they experience this with the karmics or whether they experience this with the false twin flames or catalyst, they realize that if they have to fight so much for attention, for love, for basic understanding and acceptance, then tuck their attention, F their attention. So for some people, loving another individual becomes an absolutely degrading experience, which is why they are like, I got to figure out how to feel good. I cannot be this way. So they learn about the nature of desires, mind and manifestation and metaphysics, and they also try to look within. They try to look within and they realize that whatever they're getting from the outside world, in the physical world, it is actually connected to them within their own inner world. A spiritually mature person will know this. Their awareness is heightened, their intuition is heightened. And as time passes by, the same runner and chaser dynamic that was so physical, it actually looks mental and emotional. This heightened awareness that a person develops over a period of time makes them more open to practical experiences of how things are happening within them. Yes, they have harmony. Yes, they learn that love stays intact. They also learn that true love is never one-sided. When I wrote this line in my book, In the Name of Love, some people found it very fascinating that true love is never one-sided. And some people found it very triggering. By the way, this book was also the reason why I got to write a supernatural film as a screenwriter in Bollywood. A lot of people, a lot of producers and directors, they still really like this book. Creative people like this book a lot because it's talking about those aspects of love which usually people don't talk about. But yet it is like so, it's a beautiful experience. And I remember the very famous film director who's no more alive, he wanted to get the rights of this book. And my intuition at that time told me that he's not going to be able to make this. But I could not directly tell him that because at that time I was still not very open in telling people that I have psychic abilities or I'm an intuitive reader. Of course, the book came from intuition and the book came as a download. It was a beautiful mystical experience. So I thank Twinflame Journey a lot for actually giving me that experience, because writing the book was such a profound experience. The stories were so gratifying when I was writing it. It healed me. It started healing me and I was stunned. Like, what is this happening to me? But I could never tell anyone that, yeah, you're going to make it one day. I could easily make predictions at that time and it would look like, how is this girl doing it? And I'm actually now doing it professionally. I made it my profession, the intuitive reading part of it. At that point in time, I was a writer who was into supernatural stuff. So they used to look at me like, she's strange. But love gave me this opportunity to actually work in the Maya Nagari, the city of illusions, and then learn so much more about this journey. One has to be literally be present in the process to see how much effort, massive energy, huge amount of funds, labor, all kind of resources go into making not only the audiovisual aids but also creating the infrastructure that programs the mind of people, making them believe in romantic and sexual fantasies in the name of love, which is not even love actually. I started writing in the name of love in 2009. It took me 9 months to finish it and publish it. But of course, the work was happening in the background for years. 9 months is also the time that a mother takes to deliver a baby. Now, at this point in time, there were not many books, not that I knew of, or videos on this strange twin flame journey experience. The twin flame ascension journey eventually takes you to your ultimate soulmate. That's what this journey is all about. But after a few years, I saw a sudden mushrooming of people claiming to know all about it. Some claim to be in union, out of which now, as I'm talking to you all, many are separated. And there was one very popular couple back then that turned out to be scamming people, and giant OTT platforms released documentaries on them. And all of this happened within a decade. Yet the interesting and funny part is that even now, if you drop the word twin flame in front of a normal person, generally just to try it out, they will not notice it because everyone doesn't resonate with it. People around us, in our families, our cousins, siblings, friends, you talk to them about twin flames, they will not feel much resonance. But those who do, well, what can I say? You already know what happens to them. Now, in today's time, we have many healers talking about it. Many healers and YouTubers. I mean, those who have been noticing that there's a certain group of people talking about this subject. And then, yes, not everyone resonates with it that deeply, but some find it very attractive. So they start using it. Instead of soulmate, they've replaced the word twin flame. So people have been talking about it in the spiritual community. Some find it utterly stupid, some very wise, some very spiritual, and some are using it just to get into other people's pants. Yet, I will say that if you are a genuine twin flame, you have been into this, you are working through it, then the test of time is something that we all need to pass through. The test of time will show you that you are lovable and loving. It will show you that someone somewhere loves you like mad, no matter how different you are. It will also show you that some people's flaws and addictions never go away, even till the end of their life. Or if they don't have those very tangible addictions, they might showcase mental addiction patterns that don't leave them. Basically, all kinds of experiences and people exist. The test of time makes you meet soulmates and those who have the same mission as yours. You feel a natural bond with them. You can be yourself with them. If you are in some kind of trouble, they will understand you. They will advise you. The test of time will also show you that even those people, if you change or if you have faith, even those people who once stood in opposition of you might actually support you, even if they don't like you. You feel that your friends, your true friends, those who come from your soul family, are so much more responsible towards their lives, towards the planet, towards family members. This test of time, most importantly, takes you close to Source, the world of dreams, the astral world, the world within. It connects you with your energy body, nature. You get to heal family bonds. You understand curses and how to use them as boons and gifts. The test of time makes you so independent that you can probably survive in a jungle if you have to. This test of time makes you meet psychos, liars, crooks, power, money, sex hungry, status hungry people also. You also meet those who are champion at looking saintly and godly, but inside they are just energy stealers and totally immersed in materialistic desires. And even though the obvious is in front of people, so many people, they still have followers after leaving their physical body as well. I mean, look at Ravan. He was the demon lord who lived thousands of years back, but still we have people who praise him. So in these 10,000 years, if he can still have followers, then why won't these false godmen have their followers after just 100 to 200 years of them leaving the planet? And the most beautiful thing is, you get to also meet your master, become close to spirit guides, feel the love of ancestors, have mystical and divine experiences that a sansaric, worldly person cannot have. You will see signs, synchronicities, repeating numbers, love animals, protect nature, and have newfound energy of gratitude. So all the good and bad of this world dances in front of you. It's a dance, and you eventually become the choreographer of the sequence with the help of surrender to source and thanking your masters, the true guru. There is nothing more gratifying than truth. But as time passes by, you realize you are the same person who thought handling the first runner-chaser level, the breakup or the separation, was impossible to cross over. And then there you are, 2 decades later, smiling at it all, in harmony, in forgiveness, in union, seeing things so clear. It's actually the modern world's spiritual commitment. And I'm not saying you have to wait till 2 decades. Maybe you figure it out in 7 years, 14 years, 2 years, 3 years. But there is no fixed number to it. And when I say figure out, I mean to say that you can figure it out, but the journey will still take place. How long your journey is, that is predestined. You will get to know with time. For those who think that twin flame physical union happens in a year or 2, I want to tell them, sorry, that's not true. And I cannot lie to you like some other people who probably have given you false hopes. I can tell you that if you genuinely want to be happy, then start working on yourself right away, right now. And mini reunions happen. Lots of reunions happen. Yes, that is for sure. It happens all the time. But we want some kind of physical union, like some people would say marriage or a ring on their finger. But as I've already told you in the beginning of this channeling, that there are also married twin flames that I've worked with who are in no contact situation. So this can happen to even married people. If you're married, then of course you look at a single person, someone who's single and in twin flame journey, and you'll feel, wow, this person is so lucky. At least they're not in a place like mine. And if you are on the other side, which means you're not yet married or committed in the way you imagine, then you could be looking at that married twin flame and thinking like, at least you have the commitment, the physical commitment or the worldly commitment. But trust me, it's all the same thing. When separation happens, it hits the person in the same intense way. Separation also has many different types and formats. We really cannot compare someone who's blocked with someone who is living under the same roof with their person and they don't have any connection or communication. So it's never too late to work on yourself. It's never too late to actually get into union within yourself. Age is just a number. If you're too young, then 2. If you're thinking or assuming you're too old, then 2. Because the fear and pressure that society puts on a 20-year-old is same as they're going to put it on a 40-year-old or a 70-year-old. Every age group goes through this societal pressure, whereby the society wants them to somehow bow to them, to the society, and do whatever the society demands of them. Society is fully programmed. Advertising makes people chase brands, cars, and jobs that they actually don't even need. And who are the brand ambassadors? Those who entertain. With TV and films, and there was one time when people used to read newspapers and magazines, people don't think for themselves. They adopt ideas on love, life, and success that comes from the broadcast. The perceptions are limited. As you start growing more and getting deeper into Ascension, you can easily put people in categories. Majority being those who are interested in gossip coming from celebrities, sports and political trivia, and you can see it, if you can, how strongly it keeps the common man glued. A twin flame starseed light worker is usually very little into all of this. They don't have the same interest level. They can probably roast these people really well, or they can find it really amusing how they pull it off, how so many people are blindly following them or worshipping them. The common man wants the same life that all these big fancy people have. Whereas a genuine twin flame starseed light worker who has awakened, their life is far better because the insecurities are far less. But they still have to do inner work, and inner work has many levels because Ascension is a lifestyle. They work for the love of being of service. They share the truth and don't necessarily attain materialistic possessions like those billionaires or multimillionaires would do. And yet, I feel that those who can care for others and those who can easily give up what they have for others, distribute it for those who need it, they are probably bigger than the billionaires. They're probably the trillionaires. There's actually no price attached to them or no amount attached to them. And somehow, all of the needs of the seekers are always met because the masters know what lesson comes next. If the needs are not being met, definitely there is some churning or there's some lesson that has to be mastered. So, you are taken care by God. As you get more and more aligned with the chakras, you become more and more powerful, your energy is in better space. My dear friends, someone on the other side of this journey who has gone through divine and mystical experiences because they left everything to work on themselves will tell you, hey, it's the most rewarding journey. And that one statement itself can trigger the hell out of those people who are in the beginning stage, or they have spent many years without realizing how much time went by in just waiting for the physical union. Already they are going through a lot and they are hating their destiny. They are so upset, they are not able to manage the dark night of the soul. And then there comes along someone smiling and saying, you know what, it's all beautiful and thrilling. Thanks for this ascension journey. Many say that they will quit this journey. But ironically, no one can quit this journey if they're actually into it. Because if you're in it, you're in it. Simple. And you can't be in it if you're not a pure-hearted person. This journey will keep pulling you back. And yes, despite all of these things that I just spoke about, it is quite attractive. It doesn't have the attraction that a PR strategy-based product would have. All of the artificial marketing, nothing in a celebrity or in money or in houses or all of the 3D things. It has this natural attraction. It's a spiritual thing. So the only way out is the way in. You can get complete clarity even in your first separation. But still, you have to go through everything step by step. For some, they have to go through it step by step. and get the clarity at the end of the tunnel. The stages, phases, and cycles, they can be non-linear, but for some people, they can be linear. There are no hard and fast rules because there's also something called free will. It may look like as if you're waiting for someone, the true love of your life that comes from a person. It's outside of you. But the truth is that you're actually waiting for your own self to step forward and hold your hand. 2. Pass the test of time. It needs courage. It needs you to be bold. And most importantly, it needs you to be curious. You have to be curious of what's going to happen or how things are going to get resolved, any challenge that you face. You can get into personal sessions and therapy with me. You can get my book In the Name of Love, A Journey of Finding an Ultimate Soulmate. The link is given in the description box. It's available only on Amazon Kindle. The spelling of love is not L-O-V-E, it's L-U-V. And on Amazon Kindle, you get the latest edited version. For personal sessions and therapies, please check out the description box. Once you're 100% sure, then you can write to me at thesunamoon@gmail.com. If you're from any other part of the world, then PayPal link works fine. And if you're from India, then you have to email me to get my details. I will see you in the next video. One love, peace out, and victory to Ram.